Good morning and welcome to another episode of Tea with Z. Once again, if you haven't got your beverage or your hot beverage, your tea, your coffee, whatever, now's the time to go and get it. Because today we're going to jump in. And before I do start, actually, just want to give a big shout out to those of you that have been watching and following the Tea with Z sort of journey. I've received plenty of comments along the way about you guys watching, but I'd love for you guys to reach out and say hi. It just gives me some props to say, oh great, some people are actually watching and interacting with the content. So if you got 2 seconds, say hi. If not, that's all good because I can see you guys watching anyway. Hey Sam, how are you, mate? You got up early, nice. Good morning, Sam. So but yeah, welcome to another episode with T with Z. So it's absolutely epic to be with you guys here today. So 4 weeks into the new financial year, and I guess what we're talking about today is what's that look like for you? When we look at the new financial year, is it something that just passes us by? Or is it a time that we've actually taken out of our business, out of our own health entrepreneurial journey to actually jump on the planning pathways to not only plan for these next 12 months in terms of finances, but also take the time and take stock and take reflection of what the past financial year has looked like for us. And that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing because it's been an incredibly volatile past year. We all know that. We all have experienced it. We all, unless you're living under a rock somewhere in the middle of the jungle and totally cut off from all other civilization, you'd know that this past financial year has been extremely challenging for many, many people. And so my question to you is, now that we're 4 weeks into this new financial year, what have you done with that time? What have you done with that time to really take a deep dive look into where we've come from, where you've been, what you had to endure, where you've gone through, I should say, and then taking those lessons learned and then applying that to the next 12 months? Were you super successful? Did your business thrive? Did you, as your own health entrepreneur, taking charge of your own health destiny, did you thrive? Did you allocate the time and resources required to enable you to thrive, or were you simply just surviving? Were you simply just surviving? And if we don't look back, if we don't reflect on what we've done, how can we then prepare for what is to come? And whether or not you had to deplete significant financial resources just to stay afloat, just to survive, what does that look like in terms of this next 12 months to rebuild that reserve, to rebuild that war chest? Did you have a war chest at all to start with? And if not, what were the impacts in your business without those capabilities to actually weather the storms that we've seen? And whether or not that's in the lockdown environment that we're, that our New South Wales and Victorian neighbours are experiencing at the moment. Now, these aren't the first instances of this in the past 12, 18 months. But what have you done differently? What have you looked at in your own financial plan and your management plan to actually be able to weather these storms in the future and for these next 12 months? Do you think that lockdowns are going to be repeating itself? Are you placing adequate budgets and resources to ensure that you can thrive and not just survive? That's my question to you as well, is what resources are you actually using to understand and process this information? Who is your team around you? If it's for yourself on your own health entrepreneurial journey, are you allocating the resources and sitting down and planning and budgeting for, say, a gym membership or the ability to eat healthier and get fresh produce? Because we all know that a bottle of Coke costs less than a bottle of water, which is insane. And if we extrapolate and take those same lessons and learnings about budgeting and forecasting and living our own health entrepreneurial journey, we need to plan for that. We need to plan for that because unfortunately, as a society, if we value health, if we value health above other things, it comes at a cost. It comes at a financial cost. Going to a gym and prioritizing a gym membership isn't free. Yet we need to budget and allocate resources to ensure that we can stick to that. And when it comes to our business, is what are we doing in our business to budget and to allocate the resources required in order to live our best health entrepreneurial journey, whether that's for our team or for our community, or just keeping the lights on so that we can better serve and deliver what we aim to do within our community. And that comes back to I guess the other question of, who is within your network that is supporting you to do this? Do you yourself have the knowledge and the know-how to look back at these past 12 months and really digest and decipher what these numbers mean on a page? My question to you is how often do you even look at your numbers? Do you think it's something important that we should be considering? Or do you leave that to other people in your business to manage, whether or not that's internal or external, whether or not you employ a bookkeeper or accountant, or whether or not you have a financial department within your business, or whether that's just you in your own household and in your own family. And so, what are you doing to maximize your understanding of what these past 12 months have been? And how are you planning and using the resources available to you, whether or not it's via your own knowledge or the knowledge of others, to better your understanding and better your planning to ensure that this new financial year is going to be even bigger and better? Because we're already 4 weeks in. We're already almost a month into this new financial year. Where has this month gone? It's absolutely crazy. And so my question to you is, what are you doing with this time? Because this time is gone. You can't get it back. So now we need to look into the future and make sure that we're betting and solidifying our plans for that. And look, with those financial plans come the goals that we want to achieve on our health entrepreneurial journey. And making sure that by setting these goals and breaking down those goals, we can then understand what financial resources we need to obtain and achieve those goals. And without a financial plan, we can't do that. And with even taking another step back, and we've touched on planning before, and we'll keep touching on planning because it's so important, is what does your plan look like? What financial resources do you need to not only achieve your goals, but weather the storms along the way? And if you don't know how, if you don't know what to look for in your financials, if you don't know how to decipher that information, what resources are you using? What resources do you have available to you? You know, Limitless Network is one. There's an amazing array of different disciplines in that community. That if you shouted out and put your hand up and you required some assistance, there's amazing people within our community that can help. And so, what are you doing to seek help? Because help is only given to those that ask for it. And if you need help, you can only ask for it. And to me, this is one area of our lives that we often don't ask help for. We don't often ask the assistance and guidance required to properly understand something so important in our lives, something that actually dangles and holds so much power over some of us, that stresses us out, that keeps us awake at night, that prevents us from living our true health entrepreneurial journey. If anything, it is one thing that actually really limits our ability to live healthy lives, is if we are under significant financial stress. or the pressures of that. So 4 weeks have already passed in this new financial year. What have you done with that time? What have you done with that time? This is now the opportunity to reflect on the past financial year, to take stock of what has happened, to review the lessons learned, and then take those lessons and factor them into the new plan moving forward. And you can only do that if you've got a direction. You can only do that if you know where you want to head and for what purpose you're doing what you're doing. And whether or not it's to get healthier, to lose some weight, to enjoy more family time, to live a better quality life, or if it's to improve the bottom line and profitability of your business, if it's to improve the health outcomes of your team, if it's to improve the health outcomes of your community, how are you going to do that in these next 12 months? And what resources do you need in order to achieve it? So that's my question for you today is, what's your past 12 months look like? What's your future 12 months look like? This is the time to take stock. If you need help, ask for help. I don't claim that, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a bookkeeper. However, the most important foundations is understanding the necessary documents to understand your performance of your business, your performance of your household, where you can allocate resources and funds to improve and build upon your health entrepreneurship journey. And you can only do that if you look at it, if you take an active role in reviewing it. So, what are you going to do now? Are you going to now use this time and go, crap, 4 weeks already into this new financial year, I haven't even looked at the past 12 months? Or are you just going to wing it? Are you just going to hope for the best, not factor in any contingencies, not factor in any storms that might be coming? Because we don't know what these next 12 months look like. Sheesh, we didn't even know that there was a pandemic coming, and look, it's hit. So, what are these next 12 months going to look like for you, and how are you going to plan and prepare yourself so that you can not only survive but thrive? And it all comes down to knowing your numbers. So, once again, I did touch on the Limitless Network, and the Limitless Network is a network for like-minded health entrepreneurs. And I believe everybody in our own right is a health entrepreneur, because at the end of the day, if we value health, we need to take charge of our health, whether or not that's for financial profit or for the profits of joy, well-being, being able to spend quality time with family, whatever it might be. If you're a like-minded health entrepreneur in any way, shape, or form, jump on to this Limitless Network. And as I mentioned before, there's an amazing array of different people within this network. And it's a safe space. It's a safe space to ask for help. And that's what it's all about. It's about creating an environment that we can share resources, knowledge to help empower one another to live more fulfilled and healthier lives. So that's it from me today. It is great to jump on, and Tasha just jumped on. Yeah, sometimes, and actually, it's amazing that you just touched on failure or weakness if we do. But in fact, it's the opposite, knowing when to ask for help in the areas you need. And it's so true, and unfortunately, we've been ingrained in our education system to not make mistakes and to see mistakes as failures. When we review the past 12 months, we sometimes shy away from the opportunity to review information in the fear that we are going to identify mistakes, and then in the fear that we are then going to be seen as failures. And that's been ingrained with us since childhood. We take a test and we're marked right or wrong, right or wrong. And then we're put up and we're compared to our peers, and we're either seen as successes or failures. But at the end of the day, who looks at that? Who looks at that outcome in the long run and go, I was just reading a great anecdote, about Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein focuses so much on, we see his successes, we see the his successes, and the research that he's done that's shaped many, many aspects of our lives. We focus as a society on the successes, yet he himself had so many failures. He himself had so many mistakes in his process, but it was his persistence and grit and his determination to go above and beyond that that allowed him to succeed. And yet, as a society, we focus on the success. Yet, in our own mindset, we focus on the fear of failure and what that comes about. And when we take and then as a result, we don't take the opportunity to reflect, to learn from those mistakes, to build upon them, to actually plan how we're going to do things differently. So great point, Tash. Great point. So I'm going to bring that back up because that was an amazing point. Is taking the time now to actually push through that barrier. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. It's about what you're going to do and the lessons that you learn to turn those mistakes or turn those what you might perceive failures, and it's what you perceive as failures, into a plan and a game plan for moving forward. So that's it from me today. Once again, if you do want to jump on the Limitless Network, like-minded peer supporter group, there's the details there. But other than that, have an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you on another episode of Tea with Z tomorrow morning. But if you do want to catch the exclusive episode of Tea with Z, you do need to be in the Limitless Network, and we host that every Friday. So look forward to catching you then. Take care now. Bye.